From Journey with VRD, you're listening to the Visions, Missions, and Manifestations podcast, the number one place for spirituality, healing, and transcendence. I'm your host, Vivian Raquel Dayan. Now let's get into it. Hello, everyone. It's Vivian. We're back with another Visions, Missions, and Manifestations episode. Before we get into today's episode with Anna Love, who I actually adore beyond measure, I want to talk to you about a few things happening in the Journey with VRD world, since this has become one of your favorite parts of the podcast. So first and foremost, as many of you know, I just came back from my bachelorette, which was incredible. I'm so grateful for my friends. Honestly, it really is quality over quantity. A couple of lessons I learned on this bachelorette that I want to share with you all is one, stop giving away physical real estate, physical valuable real estate. And what do I mean about that? If you had something difficult happen to you, or happen for you in a certain city, state, or even at a venue, a place, right? And every time you go back to that time. Maybe you had a bad breakup or just a breakup, or maybe you had ending of a relationship or a friendship even, right? And now every single time you go to this place, you think about them and you get into a mood, or like you avoid that place because it reminds you of that person and what happened. Then you're giving physical, valuable real estate to that person. Why the hell are you doing that? Why are you giving physical real estate away to somebody who doesn't even deserve it, right? If you had a bad breakup, or if you had a relationship end and now every time you go to Miami or every time you go to Paris or wherever it is, you avoid the place. And if you must go, you're in a mood because you're really thinking about all the things that happened there, right? When you do that, you're giving physical real estate away. And let me tell you, nobody is worth a full state, a full country, a city, or even a wedding, or even a lunch. If you are invited to a lunch and the person that brings you down is there, why are you giving them that lunch spot? Reclaim it, reclaim your power, rewrite the story, right? We're not living in the past, right? We're manifesting a beautiful life. And that entails rewriting the parts that are still stopping, blocking you, and holding you back from your manifestation. And so if you ever find yourself not wanting to go somewhere or avoiding some place because you had a bad breakup with a friend or even somebody that you were in a romantic relationship with, reclaim your power. Stop giving away cities. Stop giving away states. Stop giving away countries. Stop avoiding somebody at a wedding, right? Rewrite the story. Who are you now? Who do you get to be now that that's over? I'll be really honest. I have been going around since 2022 saying, I hate Paris and I'm never going back there just because I've had two really bad experiences there. And the truth is, why in the world am I giving Paris away to these two different people when they don't deserve a whole city? No, they don't. And so what I come to learn is we have to rewrite the story. This is what happened. This is what I learned from it. And this is who I get to become because of it. And now I get to go back to Paris, have an incredible time, and be like, wow, this is a place where I transformed. This was my crystal trigger into waking up from a reality that wasn't working for me, right? These challenges, these really disrupting events that happened to me in 2022 in Paris got to be the trigger crystals that got me to where I am now, right? It woke me up and it said, no, I'm no longer living my life like this. In fact, I didn't really have a choice. And the choice for me was then either play victim, stay there, or grow the fuck out of that dimension and rocket ship into the world I am at now. Right? And so for people who and the same thing, like I remember like not wanting to go to different places. And I'm using me as an example, but really this happens for my clients and my friends all the time. And I'm sure if you're listening to this, you could relate and resonate that there's places and spaces that you avoid being at because a certain somebody is there, right? And the point of this is take a breath, know who the fuck you are, and take up the space. Go there. Be your beautiful magnetic self because you're worthy and deserving. And you don't have to be giving valuable real estate to people who try to push you out of there. Just go there. Reclaim your power. Know who the fuck you are because of what happened. Sometimes we have to know who we are not to remember who we are again. And when we feel sad, know that there's a lie in there. When we're feeling bad, know that there's a lie in there because that feeling is coming up because we are in alignment with the truth. So don't let somebody push you out of your happiness and then give them physical real estate, right? Just because something upsetting happened to you or for you in Paris, in Florida, at, a wedding, at wherever, right? Don't avoid that place because it may remind you of the sadness. Instead, go back and reclaim your happiness. And if you are not at that place, let's work together. Let's book a session. Let's get you in your high energy confidence. Let's get you into this place and space where you feel powerful enough to show up and fully own yourself without the guilt, the shame, the pain, the grief creeping in, without the insecurity trying to take over. Because you're worthy and deserving of more than just Paris. You're worthy and deserving of more than just the places and spaces that you feel small in. Let's break free. Okay. Another thing that I really wanted to share with you guys is that on June 16th, Monday night at 7 p.m. in New York City, I will be hosting the event of the season, the manifestation event that you do not want to miss out on. It is a transmission into your next level. I will be giving a live manifestation class, a workshop, a meditation over mocktails. And for my VIPers, there will be a little dinner beforehand, a pre-party, and it is going to be an incredible event. We're already, I I think we only have 2 VIP spots left at this point, and we only have 5 general admission spots left. This is the manifestation event of a lifetime. If you're curious about manifestation, if you're just ready for your next up level, if you want to be surrounded by people who are in high frequency so that you can up level your vibration, your energy, and get to a high self-worth place, then this is your space. This is your sign to get a ticket to join us, be in this transmission, be in this up leveling, experience a transformation, because it's going to be the thing that you are forever grateful for going to. And for those who cannot make it, I am so sorry, but I do have good news. In October, finally, it is set and done. We are going to be going to Florida. I will be hosting, Journey with VRD will be hosting a healing, rejuvenation, and manifestation retreat in Florida. Dates are October 24th to the 27th. This is for the person who just feels depleted or just doesn't even know where to turn. Think luxury, okay? When I say luxury, I'm talking about you're waking up on the beach to yoga and sound healing. Then you're going in to your massage, to your Reiki healing, being greeted by a gorgeous lunch. Not to mention there will be breakfast, but a gorgeous lunch prepared by a vegan chef. Then we will be going into manifestation workshops and different events throughout the retreat. I highly invite you to message me right now. Doors are only open to a few, and we are going to be opening it more and more. Just message me on Instagram, the word retreat, if you want more info on this. It's not open yet to the public. It is really open to past retreat goers only right now. But if you are listening to this, you can have access to signing up and more information by direct messaging me on Instagram. My name is Journey with VRD, and just write the word retreat. I'll know what you're referring to, and I'll give you all the deets on the Florida retreat. All the deets on the Florida retreat. We are only opening up the retreat to 12 people. And if you want to be a part of this magical experience, message me on Instagram, the word retreat, all caps, RETREAT. And for the first 5 people who sign up, you will be getting 3 private sessions with me, 2 before the retreat and 1 on the retreat. Okay. Now Let's get into the episode. On today's episode of the Visions, Missions, and Manifestations podcast, we are delighted to welcome Miss Anna Love, aka the subconscious healing specialist who helps women reclaim their authenticity, their truest selves. Once we peel off the layers, peel back the layers and the masks that we've built in order to fit in, we can actually get in touch with who we really are. And Miss Anna Love helps us with that. Welcome, Anna. It's so great to have you here. How are you?
Oh, no, no. Hello. Thank you so much. Very excited.
Very excited. So I was wondering, I was hoping, I was wanting to start off this episode with letting the listeners know a little bit about where you are now, what your soul's mission is, what you're building, what you're doing now.
Like today now. So what am I doing right now? I am creating a different version of myself that is more vibrant, meaning that I'm allowing myself to be seen because
Mm.
even though I've been on this journey of personal development and I've been a coach for a number of years, there was still a veil in front of me. And what am I doing right now? I am still peeling back the layers. It is a continuous process. And every layer that I peel back allows me to be seen in different groups. And so I'm looking for, that specific niche, right? Is it teenagers or is it women in their 20s and 30s? I'm still looking for the right people to find me. And it just, my coaching business honestly expands to the level of what I know that I'm here for.
Mm.
That's what's my journey.
It's so cool because when it comes to anything in life that we're manifesting, the more we peel back the layers, the bigger the things that we manifest are and the more in alignment they're with. And as we grow, the things that we're desiring evolves. And as we grow, the people who are attracted to us evolve, shifts, and expands, up levels. And so a big question that people probably ask is, are we ever done peeling back the layers? And the truth is no. As we evolve and grow, we are peeling back more and more layers of what's blocking, stopping, and slowing us down.
Yes, that's exactly right. And so that's where I'm at right now. And it's where I'll always be. Even if I find, and I help a 1 million women, there's
Mhm.
going to be another, version of me after that. So
Mm.
I'm acknowledging that and I'm sitting in it and I'm realizing that I have helped so many women already and there's more to come.
Mm-hmm. Hell motherfucking yes. So let me ask you this. What is your soul's mission?
Now that I've found it, because for years I was fighting it, my soul's mission is to help other women break free of the fucking bullshit that they are using as a hiding mechanism or a defense mechanism or just not vibrating at their soul's mission is to help them
Mm.
discover.
Oh, yes. And something that you said that I really want to highlight and dive deeper in is fighting it. You were fighting your mission for a while. Can we talk a little bit about that and what that looked like for
Yeah,
you?
it's the intuitive knowing. And ever since I was a little girl, I had this strong voice inside of me. It sat in my chest and I fucking knew it and I called it my intuition. But
Mm.
there were people all around me that, didn't want me to know. I didn't serve their best interest for me to know myself because I had to fit into their version of what made their life easier, or they were going through a lot of shit too, and they just needed me to be a certain way. And I created myself as a people pleaser, right? So,
Mm.
like, I was fighting it because I was trained to. I was fucking programmed to go against what I knew. And I kept asking. So, what it would do is I'd jump over what I knew because it was always there and it was a feeling. And I would start to look for that approval because they trained me. And so then I would go, whenever something new came my way, I didn't trust myself.
Mm.
Even though the answer was here, and I would go, can you just shut the fuck up? I'm trying to be a good girl. Can you just shh for 1 second? And then I would ask other people what I should be doing, what they thought, totally lost control of who I was, and then ended up spending decades in this fog. I mean, first I'll have to say is whatever has unfolded for me has unfolded in the exact time that it was meant to in this lifetime, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't push that away. That's something that I chose when I jumped into this body, right now. However, I've been through I chose, can you please give me hardship and trouble and challenges in order? And I've learned it's my human design to do that. I need to fucking crash and burn before I pick up the pieces and go, I've done that too many times. I'm not
Mm.
participating any longer. So, yeah, there was a lot of bad things that came of it. And now I'm here and there's only looking up because now I'm awake. Now I'm aware. That's
It's never too late. And I always say that the solution is created before the problem.
yeah.
And so it's like you had this life mission to free people from subconscious limiting beliefs, fear, shame, guilt, anything that was holding them back. However, unless you went through your own shit,
Mhm.
you couldn't get there. And
No.
so the universe was like, all right, let's give her the problem so she could get to her solution of becoming this freedom coach in a way. You know what I mean?
Fucking A. That's exactly that's exactly it. I really needed to do that. And like I said, it's iterations of myself as we go down my timeline. I'm 51. I still don't feel completely, truly like, I've got more to fucking pull back. And
Mm.
I have grace for that. I'm totally fine with that.
We all do. We all do. No matter how successful we are in our lives, if we want to get to that next level, we're going to have to dive deep again and peel back more layers because whatever we don't currently have right now is being blocked by subconscious beliefs.
Right.
And so, whatever you do want, you need to raise your self-worth towards that thing because everything we manifest is based off our relationship with it and our relationship with ourselves.
It's the mirror. I drew a card. I have oracle cards and I
Ooh,
fucking drew one. And guess what? You just nailed it. It is what is being reflected back to you right now. Boom. That's
I
exactly.
love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. So I love how synchronistic everything is when we're on the show or together. So, okay, now that everybody has a taste of a little bit about where you're at now, what your mission is, what your vision is, talk to me about what you're manifesting. What's the next level?
Oh my gosh. It is. So this morning when I was walking my dog, am manifesting another $123,000 through clients by December. So I just manifested two different main things that are around money and
Mm.
around where I'm going to be living. And the day we met, I found out that we had to move
Oh
in
my
less than
God.
90 fucking days after signing a contract that we were good in this house that I'm renting for another year. So an hour after I found that out, I met you. And then I was like, don't have anywhere to live soon, and me and my kids. So I put in a phone call. I manifested I had been driving through this neighborhood that is well beyond my means, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million houses. And I was been saying to myself, I'm going to be living on this road, rolling road, rolling road, rolling road. And I am about to sign a lease to live in a house on fucking rolling road. That happened, right?
Congratulations. Oh my God, that's huge.
Huge,
I
huge.
love
So things are happening all the time. And my next one is through clients. It's really getting that exposure and bringing
mm,
the right people that need me and I need them. Right.
hmm. Going back to the houses is so funny. All my clients right now are manifesting houses. And like it's hysterical. Like I had one client who literally had a terrible, terrible credit score, low 500s, manifest her dream home in PA. She owns it. I have another client who just manifested the home of her dreams in the neighborhood that she wants to. She's renting. Like it's just so funny. And I'm like, here, I'm like, I'm not manifesting a home, but like is a home coming to me that all my clients are calling this in right now? So I love it. And now you're telling me that you just manifested. So I want to dive deep into your story because you are such an inspiration. You are so brave, so resilient, and you went through a lot and you got to the top. You know, you're a mother of two incredible daughters. You just I'm sorry, three incredible daughters. And um, you really navigated, created, and shifted into this life for yourself that you absolutely love, but it wasn't always that way. And so to inspire and expand some of our listeners, I'd be honored to hear your story.
I love that. Thank you. I just posted something today that I had saw someone else post. Tony Robbins came out with a new video, and I don't know if you're familiar with Tony Robbins, but in 2017, I was in a ton fuck of issues. I was wanting to go through a divorce. I was in the divorce. I had already wanted that was 2 years prior, so I was in the divorce, and I was owning a company that I have been running for 18 years, but I wasn't doing anything in the company. It wasn't bringing me passion. Still have that company today. It's wonderful, and I have a crew that helps me with it. But I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm literally out there, like having lunch, going to the gym, playing tennis, and really doing nothing of importance. And I said, I need a purpose. I don't have my purpose here. And I didn't even know how to even find that. I was like, all I know is I'm unhappy, I'm bored, and I'm fucking miserable, right? So my hairdresser had invited me to go to Tony Robbins' business uh, mastery. And I said, fuck no, I'm not. It's $10,000. I don't even know who this is. I don't do personal development. And long story short, I ended up going. She didn't. She manifested it for me. She was like, this came through me for you. And that set me on the beginning of everything. And I remember that I was very resistant when I went to his 5-day retreat. I was very resistant to doing anything personal development. I was like, just tell me the business. And so I can get the fuck out of here. Stop making me dance. I'm not a sheep. And back then, I was negative. I was judgmental about myself. I wouldn't dance. I was afraid. I had fear of being seen. I wouldn't even sit in the VIP row that I paid for because people were in my seats and I didn't want to ask them to get out of the way. So I was living this miserable existence, but I didn't know that it was like a fish in water. I was like, I don't know anything else but this. So I came home, I hired his coaches, and from then I got myself into a mastermind group. I hired other coaches, I started reading books, and I was like, oh, this is all my choosing. This victimhood, I was 42. This whole thing is things that I've participated in. And at that point in time, my coaches were telling me, you know, you're a coach, right? You're a women's empowerment, feminine energy coach. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's not me. I don't have the confidence for that shit. And I didn't. I didn't know how to find it. It was in me, but I didn't know where the fuck it was, right? So years go by, and all of a sudden, COVID is happening. My other business, Tiny Chefs, it had halted because we do cooking classes with kids. We couldn't do that anymore in the way that we were. And I was really like just like watching quotes and reading books, but I wasn't really doing like the inner work. And something again, the intuition, I remember exactly where I was sitting and exactly when it was. And it said, face yourself, Anna, say it. And I was like, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And it was really like getting clear with myself, right? I had to get out of my own way that I was blocking. And I said, I'm a fucking coach. I was like, I'm going to fucking claim this shit. And I
Yes.
went on a journey and I started learning this certification and that certification. And then little by little, I started feeling into what would it be like to actually be an authority about the shit that I've been through, right? And using that to my advantage and helping other people. So it really came about in like 2019. Yeah.
Oh, how nice. Okay, so then now we're at 2019. And how'd you get to here? What happened with the divorce? All the
Oh my
things.
God. So in 2019, I had been divorced for a number of years. So I was living in a house that I purchased and was making a shit ton of money with my other company, but still not feeling purposeful. And I remember I went to, part of the journey of figuring out my purpose was I went on a trip to visit my cousin in North Carolina and I was reading a book called The Calling.
Mm.
And it was to help me find my purpose, right? And that was recommended by Gabrielle Bernstein, who was one of the people that I was following. And I read halfway through this book and I was like, I fucking know it. I actually am going to claim it. And I started taking certifications, like I said, but in doing that, I was able to clear out lots of limiting beliefs that and lots of negative emotions. I remember clearing out shame was one of the biggest emotions I was holding, and it was wrapped around two things. It was wrapped around a past life where I was a witch and
Oh my,
I wasn't allowed to fucking talk. So I remember seeing myself with my palms out and all this power and me being like, no one can see me or I'm gonna fucking die. Right. And then cleared that out. And then my other thing was I remember when I came into this world feeling like I wasn't wanted and
Mm.
the shame that was like wrapped around me for that. And once I cleared that out, I started to claim who I was and that I could actually take up space in the world. And I swear to fucking God, an hour later, I nailed a client. I locked in a client for like my highest paying ticket back then. And I was like, look what that can do. Clearing some shame.
Clearing some shame. So let's talk a little bit about being seen,
Hmm.
because it's a big theme. And I think nowadays, like, there's a big extreme. It's like either you're so owning it and you're being seen and you don't care about the cringe factor, or you're like, what the hell am I doing? You know, or why am I worthy of deserving? There's people who are judging me, all of that. So, what was some of the tips and some of the tools that you used in order to break out of that and to fully be seen?
When you really look at my reasonings for not wanting to be seen, it was programming and it was beliefs. So everything is about what you make it mean. So you can be abused and all these horrible things can happen. That is, by the way, not the trauma. The trauma is what you make that event mean. And what I made certain events in my life when I was a child and I really couldn't, get out of the thing. I had power back then, but I told myself my power was too great for people, that it was going to destroy things. And if I had used my voice the way that I should have and advocated for myself because I knew what was going on, I could have said something. And yes, there's going to be repercussions and there's going to be consequences, but I used that as fear. And what I didn't know at the time was that it was creating the next, versions of me to go through life
Mm,
in my teens and in my 20s and in my 30s with that same mentality that I created when I was 9 fucking years old. Okay. So that right there, once I started to realize, oh, that stemmed from a place of fear, and
mhm,
I'm not 9 anymore, and I'm gonna reframe this and I'm gonna change what it means, what that event means. And you can do that with the techniques that I use and what I've learned through my coaching. You can do that on timeline therapy, you can do that in hypnotherapy, you can do that in EFT tapping, you can do that in internal family systems. You can find the parts of you that came in to protect you and then
mm,
let them know, hey, I'm not 5. I'm not 9.
mm,
Let's reframe and change the story and then go back and really rescue that little one that's back there. Reparent that young one that needs you and was left back there in the fucking dust when you went off being angry or being, a hater or being a judge or whatever it is that you've chosen as your identity to get through.
So powerful.
Mhm.
So it sounds like a lot of being seen is using your voice and overcoming fear.
That's right. Yeah, and for me it was taking up space because I was also molded and I'm not pointing fingers or blaming or saying it's someone's fault. Everyone has their own programming through the generations, but generational, uh, they pass the baton and they say, this is what it means to be a good girl or to be a person in society. And for me, it was told to me, don't be too big because that means that you think you're better than other people. Don't make too much money because it means that you think you're better than other people. So I had that fucking woven into the tapestry of my identity. And so, I didn't ever want to shine. I didn't want to ever stand up and say, I have a purpose and I have a place on this earth. It was, how
Mm.
can I hide?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm. And for the listener that's just hearing the word programming for the very first time, it's the beliefs that you picked up throughout childhood and you are now acting on because we act off of our beliefs. That's how we show up in the world. What's really cool about the work that you're talking about, Anna, is how when we do the healing, we heal past generations and future generations because we're literally recoding our DNA to no longer carry that trauma, those limiting beliefs, those fears, so that when we give birth or we have children or raising children we already gave birth to, we are showing up differently with a healed wound. So that
right.
wound is, we're no longer behaving, acting, and showing up from that place of hurt or trauma or limited thinking.
So powerful what you just said. And we don't know this, no one teaches this to us, and that's okay because that's part of the journey. But knowing this powerful and potent thing that you just said, we can tell other people all about it. Epigenetics, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
a thing. It's been studied now.
Yeah,
So,
it's huge. I mean, we're making so much progress in the world. And, they always just say science is just one step back from spirituality.
mhm.
But it's true. It's true. Like, in order, and, just for the mom out there or the parent out there that's thinking, like, I don't have time to work on myself. I have to run a household. I have children. I have a husband. I have this. I have that. Whatever it is, know that without working on yourself, you're letting damaging programming to continue on.
Yeah, that's really big. I actually created something. I haven't launched it yet, but it's going to be going in my portal membership.
Hmm.
It's very much, and I learned this from Tony Robbins, is that you actually get to change your state, and your state is what changes everything that you are involved with. So you do have time, because if you have time to walk around the house and talk shit to yourself or complain about this, that, and the other thing, you have time to reframe it. And it's the language you use, the focus that you are on, and it's even changing the physiology in your body. And everyone has time for that. We do.
Everybody has time for that. It's like that I always come back to this example. Like when you're on an airplane and they say, if something were to happen, put an oxygen mask on you first, not somebody else, because you won't have time to put it on somebody else because you'll die. So, same thing. If you're not taking the time to work on yourself and to unblock yourself and to go after the things that really fulfill you and give you purpose, then you're not going to be able to help your child. You're not going to be able to help your friends or anybody else around you. So, it's really important to take the time. And it looks like, so when did you finally realize that for you?
Honestly, I was in my 30s beginning this work, but I had already had three kids and they were very young. They were
Mm.
4 and 6. Four, my twins were 4 and my oldest was 6. And I'm telling you, I was, being pressured by my generation, my mother and my grandmother and my father and everybody telling me that I needed to, rule with an iron fist, and you couldn't let them get away with this and all this stuff. So, and I knew in my heart that wasn't true. And so, but there was a part of me that was like being a little bit aggressive in my parenting. And then there was a part of me that was being very soft, and I was fucking torn in the middle. Right. And I started to realize like something's not working. Like, this doesn't feel in alignment with my truth. So I had to let go of things that I didn't really resonate with, even though they were told to me. And, I was getting triggered. Like if they would like fight, I would get triggered. I didn't even know what triggering was. I didn't know what inner child healing was. Honestly, like I don't care that I'm not ashamed to say I figured it out later in life. Doesn't make me better or worse of a person. It's my evolvement.
Mhm.
But I really started to take responsibility. And for me, that is the thing. That's the
Mhm.
key, is once you start to realize things aren't working and I can't tolerate this, or I won't tolerate this anymore, how am I participating in this? And what do I need? What kind of learning can I go find? Like, what is it? Do I need help calming my nervous system? Do I need help with anger management? Do I need help to stop fucking drinking cocktails all night long? Like, none of these things were helping me.
Right.
They were vices that I was using. And it got to a point where I was like, stop, Anna. Like, and I had to, and a lot of the things that I was doing were addictions. They were addictions to anger, addictions to complaining, addictions to, just watching TV instead of reality TV, instead of like reading a book, addictions to laying in bed for an hour and a half when I woke up in the morning. And like I had to train every fucking part of my day. It was discipline. And
Mhm.
it didn't take overnight. I mean, it took a bit, it took many years. But
One
yeah,
of the most powerful things you just said was, I had to take responsibility. And most people don't want to do that because nobody wants to look in the mirror and be like, I'm the reason,
no.
right? We only like to say, I'm the reason when something great happens, when we accomplish something. But when we're living a shitty life or a shitty patterning, we're like, whose fault is this? Mom, dad, sister, brother, friend. Like, we are always looking to blame somebody. But when we are like, this is my life, we take responsibility. It is a brave thing, right? You have to be fucking resilient in order to like claim your shit. But then you get to clean it up,
Yeah.
right? And although it might be a challenge, you then get to live a life of liberation, of creativity, and a way where you actually want to wake up in the morning and go do the things on your today list because they're things that you chose, that you get to do instead of having to do. What are 3 pieces of wisdom you would tell yourself when you were just starting out on this journey of finding your purpose? And taking responsibility and ownership of your life?
Wow, that's a good one. That I am more powerful than I'm giving myself credit for, that I have such a big fucking mission and don't stop until I get there. And that people need me. People need me more than I was giving myself credit for, including my little girls, including
Mhm.
younger me. And I'll give you another one. Everything, you said it earlier, everything is vibrational. So when I choose to heal myself, it actually heals those who are connected to me and those of the generations to come.
Mhm. You're making a ripple effect.
It is.
Something I always remind myself and tell my clients as well is every single day, you're getting better and better in every single way. And you are doing so much better than you think you are.
Mhm.
Just by showing up, you're doing way better than you used to be doing. Give
Okay.
yourself credit, even if you don't accomplish every single thing on your to-do list, because especially as women, we love to take on so much more than we can. But
We're trained.
we're trained, right? It's the programming, and we're doing better than we think we are. And it's okay. And give yourself the grace to receive the appreciation for all that you did
Absolutely.
accomplish today.
I have a tattoo on my arm called Great, like Grace, because I needed to hear that. And the other really important tattoo on my hand is love, because once
Mhm.
I realized that love is everything, when you look through the eyes of love, when you just conjure up that love that is there for you and amplify it, you can soften the way that you show up, and people will receive you differently than if you've got this hard exterior to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. Just letting that sink in because I love what you said, putting the lens of love, like stick your rose-colored glasses on. People are like, you're just seeing the world with rose-colored glasses. Like, hell yeah, I am.
Yes, I
I'm
am.
romanticizing my entire day. I'm seeing you with so much love. Like, my sister would be like, why are you flirting with me? You know, whenever I'm being nice to her, she's like, are you flirting with me? And I'm like,
I am.
relax. Like, I'm just being nice. I'm just being so much love. I'm in that bubble. But it's true. It's like we get to see the world through different lenses. And you know, when you're at the eye doctor, I don't know if you wear contacts or glasses, but anybody who wears contacts or glasses knows this feeling where the eye doctor will put like these two different visions in one in right eye, one in left, and like switch it and be like, is this better or worse? And flip the vision until it gets better and better, better or worse. So I like to see the world that way. Like I'm looking at something, it doesn't look good. I'm like, all right, let's switch the lens. Like, is this better or worse? Like if I'm seeing it through this lens, is what I'm going through better or worse? And what we decide, how we choose to see the world, is going to shift how we experience it. So
Yep.
how we see it will shift how we are experiencing life.
Perception is projection. And it took,
Yep.
I couldn't fucking even understand what that meant
Hmm.
in my, when they first brought that to me, I was like, let me think about that one. I really couldn't get it because I was like that blocked where I was like, well, what is that? What do I perceive? So I'm projecting? And now I get it so fucking much. It's
I
crazy.
love that you bring that up because when we were talking about black, I remember when I was doing uh like I was working on my insecurities and somebody told me to read the book by Debbie I think Debbie Ford, Dark Side of the Light Chasers.
Hmm.
And I remember reading the book once and being like, this is stupid. I am amazing. I have zero insecurities. And this isn't on the beginning of my like self-development journey. Like I am perfect the way I am. And I don't know what people are like, this girl's crazy. Like I'm good. Like, and then I read it a second time and I was, because everybody's like, you missed the point. Read it again. And I was like, oh my God, I have so much stuff
Hmm.
to clean up.
I
And
have
I
to read that book. I
you
haven't read it
gotta,
yet.
you gotta read that book. It's incredible. It's incredible. I love her. I like give it to so many of my clients. I'm like, okay, it's
Ooh.
time to reclaim your power. Let's go. Let's go. Especially if you're somebody who's been playing small or had any period of your life like that. It's an incredible book. So we spoke a little bit about what you would tell yourself when you first started out on this journey, but now looking at your children, looking at the future generation, what are three pieces of wisdom you'd give them around?
My children.
Hmm?
Well, projection is, how you perceive things is how you show up. That is something that, we're working on and they're, a little bit resistant to it, I will say. So, you know, that's one thing, number one. If I can just get them to see the lenses and see it's different. I mean, we were driving to school today when I was talking about that's your perception. That's not mine. And that's not your sister's, right? That's number one. And secondly, I would say to slow down and, instead of always trying to prove yourself and defend yourself, stop doing that. If you're right, like don't be right or wrong. It's not about you're right. If you know you're right, then stop talking. Like let them figure it out. And if they haven't figured it out as quick as you think they should, that's okay. Let that be okay.
Mm,
The third thing that's really important that I do teach them is that this too shall pass. So there is something about being okay with what is and knowing this is the kicker, it will shift. Nothing is going to stay the same. So if something's uncomfortable, can you maybe breathe into it? Can you wait patiently? What can you do so that it will give yourself some time and some space from that uncomfortableness and then it will pass and shift?
mm. I love that riding the wave. It reminds me of something beautiful I once heard, and I wish I could remember the name of the guy who said this, but he was like, listen, life is like a heartbeat. Sometimes if we look at like the heart monitor, it goes up, and when we're up, we have to humble ourselves because we know it's about to go down. And when we're down, we have to get excited because we know we're about to go up. Nothing stays the same. Everything's always changing. However, if you're doing nothing, if you're at a plateau, you better be scared shitless because that means you're fucking dead. So you need to go
Right.
shake up your life and do something. So that's the way I really approach life. It's like, all right, today I had a bad day, but it's totally okay because I'm gonna get so excited because I know that tomorrow is gonna be fucking bad. And then tomorrow, when I had like an incredible, amazing day, I'm like, let me humble myself because nothing stays the same.
That's right. I would even challenge what you just said, like having a bad day. I wonder, like, is that even necessary to label it, right?
Ooh.
That we've now taken a whole list of things and we're making meaning that this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, instead of just saying it is, and this is so cliche, but it is what it is. Like it showed
Mm,
up, that event happened, and am I going to give it meaning? Am I going to take a piece of me and put it into that in a negative way? So that
right.
now I'm labeled I had a bad day instead of just let me get through this moment and I'm going to go on with my day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes. I love that challenge. So, a question I ask everybody on the podcast is what is your spiritual superpower or sixth sense? And how do you find it helping you and how you service?
I have an abundant ability to be able to get back up again. And so I will say that is from my childhood because if I didn't have that innately in me, like I don't have to go and find it. I don't have to dig it up. I don't have to even go into meditation to find it anymore. I used to. I used to have to go and find it. Like I know it's there. Where the fuck are you? Now it's just here. It's part of my vibration because I've worked so diligently on tuning my vibration and having tools that allow me to elevate myself when I do, go down low or something, comes in where I'm like, oh, derailed. Like I was so fucking high when high on life when I was flying in to go to that retreat that you and I went to a couple weeks ago. And I was like all the way up here, right? And then as soon as we land and I open my emails, right? And you come back online to fucking true life and you're like, oh shit, I don't have a house in like a minute. And I felt myself starting to spiral into like, do I need to, right? And I was like, I checked myself. I was like, you don't allow yourself to go from here to here because of this
Mhm.
event. Don't
I
fucking,
love that.
right?
Oh my
And then I
God.
fucking met you. Can you imagine if I spiraled out of control and then I went to the hotel and I was like, fuck this. I'm going to my room, going to sleep. I'm going to go drink I'm going to go get drunk. I would have never met you in the
Mhm.
way that we did.
It was so kismet the way we met. Like, I was just sitting on a lounge chair. I did not know anybody. I was outside by the pool, and I turned around to see if the one girl I knew from Instagram was there, and I see Morgan behind me. And, she looks like a nice girl, about my age. I'm like, hey, are you here alone? Are you here for the conference? And she's like, yes. I'm like, well, why don't you come sit? Like, I'm also. And then all of a sudden, she knew you from Instagram and you come, and we just built this beautiful connection. And I love how that happened.
We all of us needed that. I'm just
All of
gonna,
us needed that.
we needed that, connection. And we've
Hmm.
brought that to each other because we decided to show up in our most authentic and raw form. We were like half naked, right? We were in our swimsuits, but like we were vulnerable and
Yeah.
we were there to connect.
We were there to connect. And then going back on what you just said, because it's so profound, like it's something that I'm working on too. Like this morning, I received a text message from somebody from my past, and it was like so rude and so nasty, which is why they're in my past. And I said, I'm about to hop on a podcast, and I don't have the energy for this.
Yeah.
I am not
I-
going to entertain this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I've really been tested on this energy lately. Like I had two other things show up in my life in the same manner with the same energy. And I'm just like, okay, I'm being asked. Like right now, I am
Ask.
expanding Journey with VRD. I am taking on so many new clients. I just put out the Secret Society membership. So there's
Good.
all of these amazing things, but what that also means is that I'm holding so much more energy because
Mhm.
every single person that comes into my life,
Yeah.
I'm holding energy for. I am healing. I am praying for. I am doing the alchemy with. And
Mhm.
so the universe is saying, do you really want to go to the next level? You can't have anything in your vessel that's
Mhm.
going to react and entertain bogus. I never even used the word bogus in my life until just now. I'm a little embarrassed. But like you can't,
I said fucking A.
I said bogus. Oh my gosh. But like I can't entertain things that are going to bring me down, take
Yeah.
down my energy. And it's a
False,
test.
it's a test and it's false perceptions that you could easily attach to that you're no longer allowing to
It's
do
not
that.
my reality.
Yeah.
That is not in this level of reality.
Beautiful. God.
Is there a social norm that you had to kind of break away from in order to get to where you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. It was what I've learned is it's this tribe mentality. I was stuck in the past and the mother, the father. What are people going to see? Because when I post on social media, none of my people from home, none of my close friends, it's only people who are strangers to me who like and who comment and who are cheering me on. So I had to let that go. And I was like, and there were even comments made through the family that got back to me about like, who does she think she is? Look at her in her fur coat. And I was like, okay, I gotta let that shit go. That isn't me. But that's, and they don't mean any ill will. It's just the fucking bubble that they're in, and that's okay too. So I had
Mhm.
to let that shit go.
Yes, I always say it's like not necessarily about us. It's that they can't think bigger for themselves. And to keep them thinking small, they must portray that identity onto you.
I love that. And I also think it's their fear of being seen. So when they see me
Hmm.
doing it, it's fucking triggering them like, oh, I could never do that. And how
Yep.
dare she do that? Because it's stirring shit up in them that they fucking want to do it.
Yep.
Think about
No, 1,000%. I remember when I started Journey with VRD, it's like I took on a new identity. After like a couple months in, I deleted my personal Instagram. I was no longer Viv Rockty. And one of my best friends was like, why'd you do that? And I was like, because I'm Journey with VRD now. And you could either stay or you could leave. And I was so afraid to tell my dad that I started this. I was so scared. I was so scared. I don't even know. Like I just felt like, is he gonna? I don't even know. I didn't even like entertain the. I just said he cannot find out.
it. Mhm.
And one day he calls me up and he's like, "Are you a coach?" And I'm like, "Yeah. How do you know?" He's like, "I saw your TikTok. Everybody's telling me." And my heart went into my stomach. It was
Yep.
the one thing, and I knew
My
that
dog.
if I really wanted to inspire, if I wanted to grow my impact, if I wanted to help all of these women break free from what was stopping and blocking and holding them back out of like the fears that I had to break through in order to get here, then I had to be seen. And I said, yeah, and yeah, do you have any comments? Like, he's like, no. I was like, okay. And that was that.
Oh my gosh. My dad texted me. He was like, oh, hi, Anna Love. And I was like laughing because I changed my last name. My last name is not Love, right?
Right.
hi, Anna Levin. He's not even on TikTok or he's not even on Facebook. He heard it through like probably my uncle.
We
And
love dogs.
I just laughed. I was like, LOL. Like, I'm not even entertaining that comment.
Right.
Right.
And you
Mhm.
don't have to. You don't need an explanation. You don't have to give explanations as to why you do certain things. It's what feels good for you, and it's about your power.
I don't need to defend myself or I own what I'm doing and my choices. And, I moved on from that portion of my life where I used to have that judgment.
Yeah. And it's also like a keynote. It's just because you're a coach helping other people doesn't mean that you're like perfect.
Right.
We have our own things, which is why we come back to we're constantly peeling back the layers. We're constantly doing the work. It's about owning it and being like, yeah, I am still doing the work because I'm manifesting bigger things. And it's funny because, every single time I'm having a moment, right? And it could be like, I'll be like to my father, I just need a minute to process. He's like, well, why? You're a coach. Like, I don't understand. If you're a coach, why do you need a moment? And I'll be like, okay, you clearly don't understand. And I'll be like, oh,
My dad said to me, he didn't say I'll accept if you're a coach, but he said, I'll believe it when you can cure your celiac disease.
oh my God, I could get so deep on this.
I
Like,
know.
in a way, he's part of your celiac disease, right?
But he doesn't understand that. And I
He
don't.
is your celiac disease. Like, I could say this to somebody, like, I healed my Crohn's disease, right? Through manifestation. That's how I became a manifestation coach. I always
God,
said, yeah, yeah. I was 12 years old. And
he
that's why
is
I
my
said,
celiac.
he,
Fuck, that is amazing that you just said that.
yeah. And you have to speak to him through your journal, like, dear dad, right? And there's all that work that you got to do there,
Yeah.
right? Because disease comes from stress, it comes from
Yeah.
unreleased anger. And so the most triggering person to you that is taking up the most real estate in your mind is the disease. And we
Yeah.
got to talk to them. And it doesn't mean verbally in person, but like even journaling it out and getting to the stuff and the gunk, right? There's so much work there.
Wow. I need to go journal right now.
Yeah,
So good.
I know. This is this is what I do. This is what I do all day. But so yes. So if somebody's listening to this episode, Anna, and they're like, what a baddie, what a badass, look what she got to do for her life, and they want to work with you, how can they connect with you and see your offerings?
I love that. Thank you for asking. The best place to find me is Heal with Anna Love on Instagram, and then you can just click the link in my bio to find me. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Hey, if you like this podcast episode, please download it, give us a nice review, and follow us on Instagram at Journey with VRD to get all the latest and the greatest updates. Till next week.